Look at you,
Hey.
Cara Louise Wagner,
How are you?
in the flesh. Look at that beautiful compound. I wouldn't expect anything less from you. You're such a badass. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a collection, that's for sure.
So for the audio audience that cannot see what's going on, our beloved, guest today, Cara Louise, he's surrounded by the most amazing instruments right now. Look at that.
This one and this one were actually a gift from a guy in St. Louis, Brian Simpson. So we're super. I live with Adam. I don't know if you met him over at the Underdog, but yeah, these are our proud possessions.
I love it. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful vibes. And by the way, congratulations. I heard great things that you had a great show last night
Thank you.
At the historic basement here in Nashville, Tennessee. How was it?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was my first time there playing. And I've always wanted to play that spot because it's just like, so everyone always talks it up and, so it was really great. Yeah.
So what is going on for you right now, Cara? And I mean, it's the middle of the afternoon here when we're taping this. You had this massive, successful gig last night, like we're talking about. Did you party? Are you like hungover? Like what happened yesterday?
I had a few tequilas. Yeah, my voice isn't like exactly where I want it to be. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was like New Faces night, which like I've heard like you go in, there's like 5 bands and there's no like setlet or setup, like what am I trying to say? I guess I did party a little too hard last night.
You gotta do it. I mean, you have so much to celebrate. I mean, the new video for Empty Me, which is beautiful,
yeah,
Fragile Heart, the one you released before that, just stunning stuff. And it's so funny that you're like New Faces night because you have such a prolific career. I mean, talking about To Be Dead Is To Be Known, like we were rocking out to that like 4 days ago. South City Anthem, like Cara Louise, you're so damn good.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, we started back in like 2012. Well, I did like writing songs and I had just learned guitar then. So I just picked up the guitar and started learning in 2012. And it was really just like a means for songwriting because I've always been in love with songwriting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of more doing like the country stuff back then. And then just, since I guess it was like probably 2016 on, I just kind of wanted to work with more of like an indie producer and do more like rock and roll stuff. So I'm really happy with the stuff I've done with David Beeman in St. Louis, and he's awesome and kind of took me out of that country, box that we can fall into sometimes. So it was great.
Totally. And you're like the queen of St. Louis. Like you basically like great prolific career there. So let me ask you that. Like, what was it like when you moved to Nashville, Cara? Like, because you're from St. Louis, you were the queen of Missouri there of Americana and country, but everyone knows your name a little bit. And you come to Nashville. And it's this environment, people who haven't visited don't know, where everyone is so damn good at their craft, right? Like, was that weird for you a little bit?
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, we moved here at in the middle of the pandemic. So it was kind of hard to like get out right away and see what was going on. But I've been down here a handful of times to play shows and it always blows me away, the talent, and just like it is just another playing field. And like everyone, there's industry people down here where there's not in St. Louis. And it's just a different ball game. And like getting to play shows at all, I feel like so excited about. And I mean, I don't know if I would call myself the queen of St. Louis, but I definitely,
We will.
Oh, okay. I definitely had like some of the greatest shows of my career so far, living there and being able to have those opportunities that I wouldn't have had, being here at that level of that stage of my game,
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a supportive environment, right? Like we met you at like, friend of the show, Susie Chisholm's show, one of your residency shows. And, I remember like, for work, in Miami, I would go to LA a lot, and LA had this like cutthroat thing where everyone is kind of like, just like, this is what I'm doing. And all the artists are like, this is my next project, just like really like competitive. I feel like here is like a little bit of like rising water lifts all tides. Am I right or am I wrong, Cara Louise?
No, I think so. And you would think it was the other way around. Like you wouldn't think that like Nashville would be so like uplifting, but really like everyone I've met, and I don't know if that's just like, I really only go to places in East Nashville, it seems, but everyone I've met has been like super supportive and wants to like, get to know at least like what you're doing. Like there's curiosity there. So it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So, okay, let me ask you about the videos I mean, your videos are amazing. I mean, you just released them to me, which is like, it's like an indie movie. It's like a gorgeous National Geographic, like documentary music movie. Like, we talked about your songwriting and, you always loved it as a child, but what about the visual element, Cara Louise? Like, you're a very visual person, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have always dreamt of like being in like movies and things. I think that when you're in this industry, you kind of dream about that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, working with I would call like one of my best friends, Sam Burke is his full name. He goes by Samuel Payne, and he is just a visionary. Like he really has always been. So it's kind of nice too to like be like so close with someone and just be like, all right, take the wheel on this, like give me direction. Like, so I give him all the props for the visuals on the latest Empty Me video. And just, in the past, I've just wanted to like get my girls together and like create some like, I want to get in costume, I want to do my hair, I want to do makeup. I really wanted to dance in my past few music videos. I feel like a lot of people are in this genre like don't really do that anymore, like collective group dancing, and that was
Right.
something I really wanted to do for the past couple of videos. So I was happy to do that, and there's more to come. So I'm like really excited to keep putting out these new songs and
Please.
videos. Yeah.
You made us realize that like we need more of you in Nashville. We need a little
Yeah.
more color, a little bit more pizzazz, if you will, in
Yeah.
the Americana
Sure,
country.
I'll
So
bring it.
hell yeah, we need it. And your story, I love it because I feel like 10, 15 years from now, Cara Louise, people are gonna look at the pandemic and those 2 years, and there's gonna be people that kind of like use that opportunity for growth, that opportunity of winter. You are, I think, are one of them. I mean, just creatively, what you did there with Adam was pretty sick. Can you just like tell us a little bit about how did like that transition go from like the shock of the world being shut down to you looking at your husband and be like, honey, we are about to fucking like take it to another level. Like, how was like that like period like?
Well, funny story. I had just quit my full-time job right before the pandemic hit to go full-time music.
Uh, of course.
And yeah, and so I was getting really excited about that. And we had talked about moving to Nashville, but nothing ever like came of it. And then yeah, just like in the middle of the shutdown, it was a really good time actually to like sit and write. And I'm sure everyone agrees, like there was definitely some roadblocks, like you get down on yourself when you're not constantly like doing the motions of going out and playing the shows. And it's not the same connecting on the internet with people. So yeah, I really just used that time to write and be like, let's make like a really good album come out of this. And we had already been in the studio before the shutdown, and we didn't really know what was going to happen. And with the songs, and there was only a few of them at the time, and I just kept writing and getting into the studio, and we had a full length album by the end of it. So it was
Yeah.
great.
Wholesome
Yeah.
Dread, right? Wholesome Dread is the one that came out.
Wholesome Dread. Yeah.
Unbelievable, Cara.
Yeah.
And you used to have a group, the Cara Louise band as well. What is like, how do you compare the experience of being a front woman in a band versus like being your own ship here?
Well, I always like having the band with me. I just feel like it brings the show alive, and like um there's a certain time and a place for being a solo artist, and getting up and like actually hearing the songs as they were in my brain. And then but I really enjoy like having the band with me and being able to like run around and um sing to the top of my ability, and just yeah, it's totally different. It's less nerve-wracking too with the band. So
Interesting. Yeah, because you have like places to hide a little bit, right?
yeah, totally. Like I'm not the best guitar player there ever was. And it's nice to have the band there to set down the guitar and be able to just focus on my singing, which is like my total strength. And, I get to think about the message I want to deliver to the audience more. And it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I hear
yeah,
that. But Cara, like being in this town, like a few months ago, like Beck played like an acoustic set at the Basement East, and half of the songs he fucked up, and he like
yeah,
and it's like it
that's
made
crazy.
people endear to him, and it's like what, if Beck doesn't know his own songs and he's being laughing about it, then like that's kind of like what makes artists human, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. My hairdresser was at that show, and she was telling me about how he I think forgot some words or something like that. And I was just like, she was like, yeah, everyone loved it.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
just get in our heads. I know it's all in my head, but
Right.
you wanna do the best you can possibly do. And when you're at Beck's level too, I mean, it is more endearing than when you're hustling. It's so
Right,
there's
right,
that
right, right.
component.
Oh, Kara, I love that. Yeah, and I love your focus. I love like your hunger, but like you have like this like resiliency about you that is like, and in research it just kept coming up. And I'm wondering, we've all been through some stuff. And you can talk a little bit or as much or as little as this as you want with like challenges that your family has faced, right? And like maybe things that have made you realize like about the value of life and that we only
Yeah.
have one life. If you don't mind like sharing with us a little bit about like the experiences that like you've been through with your family and kind of like how this made you realize that like you got to live with passion.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I'm really close with my family, and but we share we share different sets of beliefs on certain things, and it became very apparent during the election 2016, and also through the pandemic. I've just had more time to kind of connect with my mom in particularly, and we've gone to difficult places in our conversations, and that's why a lot of this album, Wholesome Dread, is focused on the difficulties in having a different set of beliefs than your family, and feeling kind of outcasted is a strong word, but more or less like the black sheep, and just trying to figure out how to stay true to yourself whenever you feel that way. And art has done a lot for me in that sense. So yeah, the song I was going to play today is called The Way I Am, and it's pretty much my experience, but I hope it speaks to people who also feel, like if somebody's asking you to change who you are, to think about like why do they want that, and to stay true to yourself. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you can be happy in a million different ways. So yeah.
Totally. And we're really excited to hear it, Kara. But, I talk sometimes to people here about what makes Nashville special. And I think it's that. I think it's unique souls like you, shit, like me too. Like, shit, like I don't, my dad's a doctor, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's like this collection of like collectives that like, of like, creatives, if you will, that like kind of like
Yeah.
converged here. And like we support each other. And I think that it's really, what you're building to the table here is so important.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that, because it isn't the easiest thing to talk about, especially when you you love your family so much, and you love people who have different opinions than you. But when it comes to religion and things that really mean a lot to people, it can be more difficult. So
Absolutely, absolutely, Kara. Well, listen, you're being so good with your time. I mean, we want to have you back on the show. We want to see you live, perform live in Nashville. What do you got going on the rest of the year? We can't wait to see you, perform.
yeah, well, I'm going to slowly be rolling out some singles, and then we are doing our official release with Soul Step Records, who are they're new to town here. They're originally in Cincinnati, but they've got great artists in their lineup. So I'm really happy to be to be a Soul Step artist. But yeah, we'll be rolling that out in September,
Awesome.
and then followed by a tour, and we'll do a release show here, I think at the 5 Spot
Cool.
in October. So yeah, and then any gigs I pick up along the way, I hope to. So
Yeah,
we'll see
I
what
mean, this is
happens.
just the beginning for you. I mean, you bring something completely unique to the table, and we are really excited to see where you go with this, Cara. Thank you for
Well,
your
thank
time.
you
Yeah, if you
so
want to take
much.
us away with a song, that would be awesome.
Sure. Yeah. I'll close it out with a little abridged version of The Way I Am.
Man, what a beautiful
Thanks
guitar,
again.
by the way. Yeah, look at that
Oh, thank
guitar.
you. Yeah. This is my old trusty. I actually need a new one probably, but
Do you name your
I'll-
guitars, Cara? Do you give them a nickname?
I don't know. Maybe
Hmm.
I should.
I know some people do.
Yeah. All right. Here is a little bit of The Way I Am. Mother won't stop until I'm saved. Has me doubting if I'm sane. Filling me with guilt and shame. I'll always forgive her. If only we could see the same, those tears at dinner when we pray, and our pain would drift away like birch bark on the river. Why do you want me to be someone else if I'm happy the way I am, 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 the way I am. Father wants to be my friend. Ask me about the books I've read. Broke his heart, my mother said, when I wanted freedom. He worries that I'll be misled by outside voices coming in. Fills him with the sense of dread that I'll no longer need him. Why do you want me to be someone else if I'm happy the way I am, 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 the way I am.
Cara Louise, how are you gonna do that to us? And just pretend that like we can go on with our week after hearing that.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank
Unbelievable.
you. Thank
What
you.
a talent, what a soul. Like, can we like buy all the Cara Louise stock? Because like we're all in. Thank you
Please.
so much.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, Jamie.
You rock, Cara. Thank you so much for being, a guest on the show and for your time and we can't wait to continue with the journey, to seeing your journey.
Awesome. I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.